the clutches of the Satan. There's something in the deific blood of this only one who out of the Isaac lineage did come and who could alone and all at once enduring and preceding all of civilization's epochs scarcely comprehensively contain resplendently and exhaustive annals of time embody this word triad. Deity incarnate creator, folks. Only one. This Yeshua Jesus. The Mashiach whose first mention is denoted in the prophetic book of Daniel, yet his prophecy matter pertaining to him as in annals of time is earlier denoting, preceding Daniel and clear back to scripture collections and civilization launching Genesis book. Unto death he verily did steal away, but 'twas scarcely without arresting the exhibited carcass of death itself that his living body did detain and incriminate and render impotent. Shadows hour quick encroaching with Passover meal unlike resolve desisting. This Christ with flock en route to garden Gethsemane. Then to greet the resters. Nay, ne'er since day and time subsisting has 3 words from unarmed captive of knee bone will sow with the armed enemy. I am who you seek, saith prisoner, so let my friends with me be on their way still. Profuse bleeding without angel interceding, this Judas kiss cup his father's will. A spectacle for world long since woven, this land chase heretical and woven. Unblemished yet pummeled ere pierced and mounted. For our iniquities flesh battered, transgressions, flesh tattered stripes like sins uncounted, debt bought these nigh in Dobin, hearing, Eloi. Eloi. Father, why permittest thou this gulf unsurmounted? Behold, never hath man no mercy been nearer, this penitent thief astounded testifying as bleeding with spittle flew. This hanging sacrifice for assailant's clemency even now beseeching, saying, Abba. Abba Father forbear, for these know not what they do. Recalling shepherd's words, no greater love hath man than he lay down his life for friends. And this journal wail like this crucified's tomb with belly unto the 3rd day fed. Apostles in hiding suffering women with tidings risen Christ sends, whilst God's angel for ages sermonizes symphonically, saying, Why seekest ye lamb of life living amongst an insepulchred dead? A glory is risen. What mortal man in perfect shan't in his lowest state deserve? A mortal God without sin and flesh and imputeth lest death verdict grave unmitigated preserve. Truly a climate of peace. The nighttime rendition of opening festivities spend their first and certainly an event to ever remember, and you know this as soon as you enter the gated area outside of immediate temple court. The fact that you scarcely had to wait from the parking lot to ascend the stone steps to see the temple landing somewhat answering for this year was really more about an inexplicable feeling of what stir. Inside of the Orthodox and Reformed withdrew their any disputation and shared their well-wishing greetings as the swelling joy of the gala was unto evident attestation that shone in the eyes and faces of politicians. City officials and the throngs of the religious faithful on location in Jerusalem proper dead set on timestamp embedding into memory the mirthful setting here. The fireworks popped off and blossomed wide in the nighttime sky as persons naturally thought of warning warbles of siren calls that had only recently been so rampant and frequent in Jerusalem. Surely here on the Feast of Tabernacles we have precedent for such flamboyant displays as recorded in Torah, Mr. Prime Minister. Am I correct? Elias Eleazar Ben Yehuda winked an eye as the gregarious Prime Minister chuckled to say further, at a time for festive mirth to allow the happy distraction from the contentious norm. Such a thing ought to be, Rabbi, rendered permissible as we couldn't have asked for better weather or the more impressive turnout I see your children surrounding us. 'Twas the Rabbi who pointed while speaking of what child belonged to what parent while trading pleasantries further to each of them. What I expected alongside other such unique things eluding the ink stamp printed edition of the circulated events brochure. The Prime Minister said, only who would have thunk that we'd oversee the temple plan and finally erect her just to see a circus break out? I had to check for licenses real quick as we have the usual philosophers gathering to toast with the mystics who each make their unique stomping ground claims. Answered Elias Eleazar, and I see your peers aren't being resisted by them too much down there as the many are distracted by the zoo hands walking with lions on chains and across the way we spider and squirrel monkeys jumping and spiraling about between the arms of their
movies.
Well, they were attended once, I hope.
To the
Clipped the Prime Minister,
movies.
evidencing a smear of doubt on his face.
Movies.
Yes, I have. I think we'll be okay. However, good Rabbi, gesturing with forearm and finger outstretched, I think it's scarcely overkind of you to refer to my cohorts in such a fashion. Successful hit from the one giving the order, 2 lives down on impact. One hand grenade to the duck from 12 seconds. 12 seconds and it's daylight overhead. Do you hear me? We ain't here to establish a fort. You go through with me or you become the blasted ceiling or furniture to these godforsaken cesspools. And counted it down while most discriminants are simultaneously popping off shots between counts with abbreviated trigger pulls, recalibrating timing only once or twice. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. An explosion sounded from the distant northwest side farthest away from the entry point, from the back corridor. Countless were the bloody cries impacted by Apache overhead, with the bird accompanying the Black Hawk still yet a safe distance off but en route and on the trail of an explosion from outside. Right on point. Right on point. And, skipping count 7 and 6 went, 5, 4, 3, NNNNND, on the whistle, Joel. Bite down baby. Ah! The missile impacted and shaped the top of the compound's southwestern entry point through which the soldiers stormed, in only minutes the hangar becoming a mad twist of corrugated metal and flattened walls that terminable collapsing seemed to like the waning seconds of REM sleep occur in slow motion. Joel's last words before going airborne vaguely heard were, I've been beneath mountains of earth before. With the scream he inconsolably sounded through a set of pained cracked ribs generated by the thrashing upon another round of futile questioning hurling him into a shocking chokehold and threshold place housing only stinging agony that catapulted him with a greater intensity and gross disproportion into where he'd felt that he'd finally succumbed to losing consciousness. The whistling trajectory remorselessly making a meal out of the compound with a rapacious bite. 'Twas somehow as though in vehicle and in crash car manner speeding out of a tunnel. just as constricting and endless and cavernously wide at once, and that prohibited light engendered by what blinded rendered substance unlawful there, peering into the sun during the strength of greater day while beholding the dazzling sphere with the naked eye and during the moment of its full valor.